Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Woodcraft CZ. I'm going to do a side-by-side on these two. So, you may have seen particularly this one on Instagram, on the social media sites. It's called the Fit Finder by Microjig. It's available globally, all over the world. It originates from America, and it's been brought over here by the kind of guys at Sorter Shop. I bought this from them, my own money, and it basically, along with this one, does the job of taking a piece of stock and finding its half. So, if I can find some stock. Okay, so give you an example. Either or, they both do the same job. It basically finds the half of the thickness. For the camera, if you butt it up, this hand here marks the half. Basically finds the half. It's a very quick and easy method of doing it. I'm not really going to go too much into how to use it. They're both pretty straightforward. What we're going to do today is talk about why two tools that essentially do the same thing. I'm going to be sticking with the Microjigs. We do an A/B. If we take a look at them both, there's some very distinct differences. Firstly, the colour. Bright yellow, black. Now the colour really hasn't got any relevance to a degree in the workshop, other than maybe this stands out a bit more. But if you're like me and have loads of Microjig stuff, it's just going to be lost in the sea of yellow, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. But if it's your only tool in the garage, from Microjig, this will stand out pretty well. But like I said, that's neither here nor there, and not really a fact you should take into account. What I think we should look at is not build quality yet, but more so what it's made of. This, I'm guessing, is a reinforced plastic, some sort of polymer, a one-piece body, and then each arm is a single piece. There's no glue joints. They're attached with grub screws, threaded bolts. They have a sticker with description on each arm, and keep this in mind, we're going to be talking about this more later, it has magnets on the bottom. Here we have the sort of, it's called a half gauge from Hongdui. Now Hongdui is a company in China that has hit the social media with quite some controversy. What that controversy is that it's a company that's ripped off might be a strong word, depending on who's saying it, but it's borrowed heavily from other companies that make similar products. Having said that, I don't want to take away from the quality of their stuff. The quality is very good. It goes the same for this piece. The quality is superb, as much as this is superb for what it is. Here it's made out of aluminium. This is aluminium. We have what looks like brass. We have brass adjustment screws here and brass caps here, which house the screwed in magnet. And this seems to be some sort of steel, dare I say HSS steel, I'm not sure, but it's the equivalent to this part. As you can see, they have a very similar makeup, but going back to the Hongdui, the final piece is this blue lever here, which is used to unlock and extend this scraper marker gauge. And when I bought this, I assumed from the pictures this was anodized aluminium, but in fact it's a plastic, and I can't really tell what kind of plastic it is, but it doesn't feel as good as this plastic. This just feels tough. This feels like it could potentially break, but it would probably have to undergo a lot more stress than this lever is going to see in day-to-day use. So it's kind of a moot point. Going back to the features, like we addressed earlier, this lever unlocks this marker. At the top of my head, I can't really think what I'd use it for. It has a both metric and imperial gauge for height. So if you were to find out the clearance value, you just unlock it, one knob, and you could see 3.9 centimeters, which is added value. It's a good feature. Do they level up? Yeah. I mean, the theory behind it is sound. It's a very simple mechanic. They both do the job. You know, your applications would be transferring this to the bandsaw, to your table saw, to your router, to wherever you need to take it. You can also not just adjust the thickness if you're cutting, but you can adjust the height. So if you need a router bit, if you need a groove channeled out halfway through the stock, you just set the height according, horizontal like this for the cut, vertical for the depth. What I do want to address for you, the viewer, is why essentially I think I'll carry on using this. You might think it looks cheap and plastic. It is plastic. Whether it looks cheap or not, it's entirely really down to you. But what I like about this, and this is quite critical, is this is heavy. I mean, to really get into, well, to really get pedantic about this, what does it do? 500 grams, will it? Jesus Christ. No, that's got resin in and Okay, I've held it. 179.31 grams. Let's unhold it. New feature of the scales I didn't know about. Let's put this. Wow. Okay. Let's hold it. 386.93 grams. Is that more than double? I can't remember what this was. 206. This is more than double. So going back to why I would, if you're on the market for a half gauge fit finder, half measure, whatever, one of these, why I would encourage you, and you're stuck between going Banggood or AliExpress and buying a Hongdui and having it delivered over buying Microjig's Fit Finder, I'm going with Microjig's Fit Finder for the two reasons. It's lighter, and not only that, the magnets are a hell of a lot stronger than this. This is the deal breaker. The weight I may have tolerated if the magnets held up, but I put this on a metal surface, it's going to fall straight off. If I put this on a vertical metal surface, it's falling straight off or sliding straight down. The minute this touches metal, you have to use a lot more force than you do with this to take it off and move it. These magnets are solid. The argument could be said you could change the magnets here, but I don't want to do that. I can't be bothered. Price wise, we're going to find out. I can't remember. I got this on Black Friday. It was on sale. I can't remember how much of a sale it was, but I'm just going to quickly find out from Sorter Shop how much this is, to give you guys an idea, especially if you're in Europe. It's going to be cheaper, I guess, if you're in the States. You probably already have this if you're in the States, because it's probably readily available in every hardware store. But here in Europe, Microjig Fit Finder. I should have had this prepared. You'd think I was trying to be a professional at least. No such luck. Great, internet's not working. Okay, I need to restart the internet. Okay, so this is 50 euros and 75, what is it, cent? 50 euros and 75 cents from Sorter Shop. That's inclusive of the 19% VAT. For this, I paid £38 and 89 pence, which is 44 euros. So this is 44 euros. This was, give or take, 50 euros. I'm going with this. It's lighter. It's easier to handle with one hand. The weight isn't a massive deal breaker. It's the magnet. So I've got this metal rule. I'm going to show you this one. Because it's lighter as well, you don't need a strong magnet, but you go like that, it's stuck. It's you know, you can even throw it on, it'll slip a little bit, but you get the idea. The magnets are there. Here, they don't even. I keep my Fit Finder on my metal air filter. I just chuck it up there and it's out the way, and I know where to find it, and it's secure. The only thing, once they're so strong that when I pulled it off, it actually pulled the magnet out, left the magnet on the metal, and there was just the recess left. But a little bit of epoxy and that go, or super glue, CA glue, these don't go anywhere. Here, because of the weight, and the magnets are visibly smaller, whether the strength is different or it's just this, I don't know. And this, I've just noticed this, it's a joint, it's not one piece, it's not billet aluminium, it's two pieces of aluminium. So we essentially have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 3 pieces. I'm not knocking it. I would be more than happy if this is all I had, but for me, I just like the simplicity here. This is a cool feature, but I can't really tell what I'd use it for. I can't think at the minute. I'm sure there's uses for it. Maybe leave in the comments if you know what it is or what you would use it for. The scale is lovely. It's a nice idea. The look, I do prefer the look of this. It looks great. And I do like the single knob. It's a shame you can't kind of marry them. If this had a single knob, the thing that I don't like about this is that if these become too loose, I've had it happen to me that these will separate, and then you just need to make sure you fiddle it around and just tighten them up again, and then you're back to taking the measurement. I do like just a single knob where you just have to worry about this. This is pretty secure. I don't know if you can see that. It follows a sort of rod, a steel rod, so there's not much movement in it. They both have their pros and cons, but I will continue to use this one. If you haven't got either and you don't mind spending the extra dough, I would say this. I mean, all it does is measure, it finds a half measure, no bells or whistles. Oh, and if you drop it, it's going to break before it breaks your machine or wherever the surface it lands. This, on the other hand, I would be scared to see this hit an aluminium bed or even a stainless steel bed without knowing what this is. This would leave a nasty dent in whatever it hits, and it's heavy, and any of these corners would leave a nasty dent, but it looks good. So, you know, really, you have two tools here that do the same job. Whichever one you think looks better is really your preference, so I can't answer that. But this is lighter, the magnets are stronger, less moving parts. For me, this does look better, but the weight is not cool, and the magnets, I wish there were stronger magnets, like really strong, that I could just put this onto a metal body and it would stay there without moving. I don't really fancy changing the magnets. This comes with the strong magnets, fugglier, but does the job easier. Don't have to worry about it. If it drops, it drops. It's not going to hurt anything. This, I think, is going to be a shelf sitter that just looks pretty. Substance. Looks, I don't know if that's politically correct. Yeah, I mean, it does the job, but this does the job easily, or that this doesn't. It's up to you guys. I wanted to mention these points. This is just, you barely feel it in your hand. This, you know it's there. Yeah, here's a close-up. We're gonna get the back to front. Simple, over-engineered, in my opinion. Nice, but over-engineered. You've got bearings in here as well. I don't know if you can see that bearings. I mean, the engineering's there. The Hongdui company make great stuff as far as I'm aware. I have a couple of bits from them. I heard, is it the Microjig? I heard the Microjig is really good. I heard the edge plane is really good. I have the mallet. It's a lovely piece of kit. The router plane is what kicked off all the controversy, having the internet raging about them ripping off a particular branded router plane body and look and pretty much everything. They've now developed a Mark II, which adds more features on, but I'm not here to debate that. I'm just here to compare the two. And for me, this is just easier. It's an easier, I can pick it up wherever. Here you kind of got to make sure you're holding it. End of the day, for me, that's the winner. And for you, who knows? Your shout. If you've got the option of getting either one, me personally, this one. So, if you happen to be on the market for a Fit Finder, half gauge, half measure, whatever, and this video has been useful, please consider subscribing and smashing the like button. Every little helps. And until the next video, guys, take it easy. Happy woodworking.